This video is brought to you by Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist, my new book, which is a comprehensive guide to all aspects of music theory necessary for playing rock guitar. From blues to the cycle of fifths, from understanding and using modes to choosing the right notes for a melodic solo, from pentatonic scales to chord construction and keys. It's all covered in a clear and concise manner. With accompanying video demonstrations, jam tracks and tabs, you'll learn to use the knowledge you gain in accessible ways that make sense for less than the cost of a few guitar lessons. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now, YouTube for me is very much of a side hustle kind of thing. My main bread and butter income is from doing the Zoom and in-person lessons that I often talk about in the videos. I'm going to be talking about it in a way today, actually. I do okay out of YouTube. I'd miss the money if it wasn't there. I'm not going to tell you how much I earn, but it does make a difference to our monthly budgeting, shall we say. If I see a video getting more views, significantly more views than usual, I'm just thinking, oh yeah, it's been a while since we've had fillet steak, hasn't it? Yes. But anyway, I was in a lesson the other day with a chap. You might remember I mentioned him before. He won that beautiful Gibson Les Paul Custom in the Guitar Gear giveaway last year sometime, whenever it was, and he loaned it to me to do some videos with. Anyway, in the lesson the other day, he said, any chance we can take a look at a Kenny Wayne Shepherd solo? So I said, well, yeah, I've actually done one of his from the Trouble Is album, a song called, I think it was Long Gone. So, yeah, okay, I wanted to look at Blue on Black. Any chance we could look at that? I said, well, I don't have it tabbed out, but I'll do it for you now. And within the 40 to 45, 50-minute lesson, whatever it was, I got the solo tabbed out for him, and it goes like this. As I've often said, I think that 90s blues explosion is often overlooked. It kind of started back at the beginning of the decade with albums like Still Got the Blues from Gary Moore. Pat Benatar did a great blues album as well, which I can't remember what it's called now, but it sort of continued bubbling away throughout the 90s. You know, you had the whole Black Crowes, their first album. Was that in the 90s or the late 80s? But it was part of that whole scene. You know, it's you ask many people now about what was the big musical explosion of the 90s, and they'll talk about Brit rock and Blur and Oasis and grunge and stuff like that. But blues was as big a part of that for those of us who lived through that decade. Anyway, that Kenny Wayne Shepherd album, Trouble Is, was part of that whole blues explosion, about 97 or 96, I think it was. Great album if you're not familiar with it. And that was one of the solos from it. And here is a bit of an explanation about what's going on in the solo.
Solo explanation.
Okay, so starting as always with the chord sequence we're playing over. Looks like this. So what do we play over that then? Well, we've got quite a strong D5 tonality. This chord here, which could either be a D major or a D minor. Later on in the song, there is an F chord, or elsewhere in the song, not later on because this is right at the end, but elsewhere in the song, there is an F major chord, which contains the F note, which if you add that into the D5, you get D minor. So it's basically we're working on a D minor kind of tonality here, really, with this kind of. And notice, even though the solo ends on this G over B chord, It's kind of left hanging a little bit. The tonality, the chord where it resolves, is very much that D5, which is there sort of as a surrogate for the D minor. So not surprisingly, we're using D minor pentatonic in this sort of position up here. And a little bit of this position. Up here like this. I often get asked about what tone I'm using or how I'm getting the tone that I use on these solo analyses, and I often forget to mention it, but I've remembered today because I made a note. Basically, as you could tell, I was using this guitar, this Jet JT350 with the kind of humbucker style pickup in the bridge. That, as always, was going into the Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury edition on the Vintage channel. I didn't need to throw any kind of gain pedal or anything like that in front of it, and it was being recorded into that PC over there in Reaper, where I also, as well as the usual little bit of room reverb and just stereo delay to give it a bit of width, I was also adding this effect here, courtesy of Guitar Rig, just a rotator effect, essentially a simulation of a Leslie cabinet. And I can show you what that sounds like now. If I just play a little bit of a few licks, we'll go like this. And then if I just turn on the Leslie, let's go in here and it takes a moment. There we go. So let's kick that on and now play the same thing. And then turn it off. That is, what's going on in terms of the tone I'm getting. So anyway, let's have a little bit of a look at the licks. As I said, D minor pentatonic, and we start off with this little lick here in sort of position 1 of the D minor pentatonic. And then so there we go. Now that thing there, that motif that he plays there, is kind of quite prominent throughout the solo. I haven't counted up how many times he plays it yet, but it is something that he returns to quite a bit. But after that we get nice sort of percussive use of just a couple of notes here and a little bit of rhythmic displacement. Oops. So 3 of those, and then we get back to that motif I was talking about earlier. So that's, by my reckoning, 4 times he's played it so far. There, and that's twice. 3 times. 4 times. And then we play sort of a transitional lick, which is kind of taking us towards back into this sort of pattern 1 area of the neck for the next part, where we go. There's that motif again. So and that's a great example there of how you can take a motif and vary it a little bit. Just take a hook and end it slightly differently. So, and then just some pattern 1 pentatonic-y sort of stuff to bring things home. Here. Something like that. And that's literally the entire solo. Really, really accessible and, pretty easy to play and very effective. Why is it effective? Well, the use of repetition is a big part of it. I would say, this here and then repeating it an octave high like that, and then and that little variation on there. If you've got some licks that you tend to play that are repetitive licks like that, just try doing that with them. Turn that into like that, and you'll get more mileage out of it, and it gives the listener a sense of continuity. It sounds memorable and catchy because you're kind of giving them something that you've enabled them to become familiar with. So there you go. That's what's going on in this solo. So now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab, the one that I did for my mate and student Andrew in his lesson. You'll find that tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing the solo. That explanation you've just seen there and the backing track to play along with. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address. Link in the description, as I'm sure you know by now. $3 or £3 a month gets you access to all of these additional bits and pieces and goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below. And a big thank you to Andrew as well for suggesting doing this solo. I sometimes do get a bit stuck for ideas. I run into kind of fallow patches. I'm thinking, yeah, what shall I do for the Monday solo analysis? And this one kind of solved that problem for me. So thank you, Andrew. And that is the video for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and found it entertaining, useful and informative in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time. We drink beer and talk about music and guitars and whatever else crops up. It's a fantastic way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.